Let's welcome to the show an old friend of mine of, gosh, over 30 years. The one and only Jeff Buchanan, the mighty Maccabee himself. Jeff, how are you, my friend?
It's great to see you. Thanks for having me on. Very excited.
So let's explain to the people who the mighty Maccabee is and how you and I met. So in 1992, I'm at Iron Mike Sharp's wrestling school. I'm an 18-year-old kid, never had a pro match in my entire life. And you walk into the school. Take it from there.
I was going to do a fundraiser for the Maccabiah fencing team for 93, and fundraising is not fun, so I wanted to do something fun. And at lunch one day, one of my buddies, Eric Rosenberg, said, "Why don't you try a wrestling show?" And my eyeballs got like that. I said, "I'm doing it." So I figured I had to go train somewhere. So I was turned on to Iron Mike Sharp School by Jonathan Gold. And I came down there that one night. I was the only person in that room who didn't belong, as you can imagine. And at the end of the
Oh
night,
no, there are a lot of those guys at Mike Sharp's school that didn't belong. Continue.
I didn't belong even worse than them. And at the end of the night, I went down there twice. Mike came up to me. The card was already set. You could see the poster here was already set, and you weren't on it. But he said to me, "I have two young guys I'd like you to take a look at." So it was you and Mike Terrace, Mr. Motion, now known as Main Event Michael Mars, and who'll be on the show. And you guys went at it for about 5 or 8 minutes at 100 miles an hour to try to impress this Mark. And I remember forget when you were done. You went 100 miles an hour. I said, "Can you do that match one more time, just a little bit faster?" I remember saying that to you guys. And I told it to Mike. I said, "Of course I'll put them on the show. You were the opening match, and you were the only good match on the show. You guys are terrific."
So the actual show was in your cul-de-sac in front
Yeah,
of your house, and it was a
yeah.
legend show. Go down the list of the guys that were on the show.
So let's take a look. Ken Patera, myself, Iron Sheik and Iron Mike Sharp, Nikolai Volkov against the Iron Sheik. This is classic. Killer Kowalski. I'm not sure how many people are watching this podcast that even remember him. An all-time legend against Baron von Raschke in the Battle of the Claws. Of course, that's a pure mark-made match right there. Dominic DeNucci against Baron Cicluna, rematch from 1967 Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
Although Cicluna didn't show because he called me up one day and goes, "That is the Baron. I'm coming." I go, "Why aren't you coming, Baron?" He goes, "Because Davey O'Hannon told me not to come. He's got heat with Jonathan Gold, who was putting my show together. So he didn't come." So we had a guy named Johnny Hotbody. Do you remember him from
Of
Philly?
course, he was on the show.
He was on the show. He wrestled DeNucci.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, yeah. And that's because you were in such awe of being in my
Wait a minute, was
presence.
it Johnny Hotbody or was it yeah, right. Was
Yeah,
it
yeah.
Ted Petty?
No, Ted Petty was the cheated kid
Yeah,
against Iron Mike Sharp. Iron Mike Sharp did double duty.
got it.
And then we had Misty Blue against Linda Dallas in the women's match. I just remember the look of my daughter Stephanie's face. They were changing in her bedroom, and she says, "She said, what's going on here, Dad?" That was done with the town closed off the cul-de-sac. They
Mhm.
put it in a tent. It was a little bit cold out there. Mike, it's like throwing a wedding or something. People came in from all over the country, friends of mine. I was nervous, scared to death. The fire chief comes up to my house about a half hour before. "I'm closing the show down." "What do you mean you're closing the show down?" "Someone's parked illegally and I'm closing it down." "Chief Dufford, do you think it would be okay if I got them to move?" "Well, you better get them out of there." So that's the way people were that day. It was a little bit intense.
How do you go up to Iron Mike Sharp and the Iron Sheik and tell them that you're gonna wrestle a match with me I've never wrestled before a day in my life, and I'm I'm gonna win the match as well.
Well, first of all, I want to go on record that Iron Mike Sharp held this match together. He held the next one together. God bless Iron Mike Sharp,
Yeah,
except for that one shot he took at me. Boy, he laid
good,
him in. Oh
good.
man.
Oh,
Oh,
that's how he was with everybody, Jeff. Wasn't just you. That's how he
he,
was.
well, you were used to it. I wasn't. Boy, he really laid it in, and he was good. Um, I was actually you're running the back at the next one. Thank you for that very much. No one told me someone had to run the back. So I just did it myself. So I came downstairs into my basement. Remember everyone was changing in my basement in the
Sure.
little fencing room?
Yeah.
I came down. Each guy got a piece of paper. Your match is going 8 minutes. Here's the finish. No one said a word to me except Killer Kowalski. 6'5", whatever. He looks down at me and goes, I don't read from scripts. I go, holy shit. I said, I'm out of here. I'm out of my league. So I went up to Patera like a little schoolgirl. I said, listen, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Here are the matches. Here are the finishes. You tell the guys. No one told me that someone had to run the back.
But saying is, how did you go up to Mike Sharp and say, "Hey, I want to wrestle you. I've never wrestled before."
So he was very professional about it. He told me the do's and don'ts. He said, you're not going up in the top rope. When you come down, you're going to wear the mask to practice in the mask to get used to it. And I came up with the script, sort of like Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat, because it's not like I could improvise. I had to do move by move by move. And he was very good with it. And the Sheik had no problem either. Sheik hocked a loogie in my face. I don't know if you saw the match. He probably caught a cup full of loogie right in my face. He got all of it. It was pretty disgusting.
So how does this one show go on to be one of the biggest things in Walmart DVD folklore history? How did that happen? Well,
Well,
hold on. So let me explain. That's the Grandmasters of Wrestling 1 and 2. You got your shows, Maccabiah Mania 1 and Maccabiah Mania 2, in Walmart, and you sold the actual DVDs, correct?
here's what happened, Mike. This was the second show. So I did a main event against the Iron Sheik, a singles match. So
Hmm.
my cousin Michael Mancy goes, you can't do that. You're not ready for that. I said, Mike, we'll do enough bells and whistles. We'll figure something out. And we brought in classy Freddie Blassie.
Hmm.
Kamala against Sharp. Kamala no-showed.
Yeah.
But John
Man.
Gold got King Kong Bundy at 4 in the morning to replace him.
Yeah.
Didn't have to do that, but why not? Nikolai against Bam Bam Bigelow. Look at some of the names on here. WrestleMania main
Yeah.
eventers.
Yeah.
Snuka against Metal Maniac. Ace Darling against Dangerous Devon Storm. And again, with all these old timers and me, there was only one match that was really a good match, and you guys had it.
Well, and
You
that
know,
was
you know,
that was Dawn Marie, who went on for ECW and WWE's fame. That was her second match ever. I always thought it was her first, but when she came on my show, we talked. She said no, it was her second. So all these
yeah,
years,
she
I was telling the whole world that was Dawn Marie's first time.
well, it was her second time in a platonic way, but I met her at the WrestleCon and I went up to her and she remembered. And I had Doink the Clown, who was Mike Kalua,
Mhm.
against Steve Carino. And so what happened was, Mike, I videoed it like you do for a wedding or Jewish people for a bar mitzvah. I just kept it as a keepsake. I was a mark having fun.
Right.
One day, Michael Mansky, who was the ring announcer, he's a wrestling historian. When Dave Meltzer wants something for the Observer about old WWF stuff, he contacts Michael Mansky, my cousin.
Oh, wow.
So Mike worked for a company, Digiview, and their number one vendor was Walmart, Dollar Bin. And he goes, Jeff, do you want to put it up at the Dollar Bin at Walmart? You get a 2 cent royalty. And I said, sure, go ahead. Next thing you know, 650,000 copies of this were sold. And it became like a cult thing in a very weird way.
Right. Oh yeah, that's for sure. Any blowback from the guys that were on the DVD?
No, no, not at all. I always was wondering about that. I was always wondering if the Sheik would be pissed off when he heard about it. But Mike, it had a second explosion when Brian Zane on his Wrestling with Regret YouTube channel,
Yeah.
you know, he reviewed it and destroyed it. And one night someone sent it to me, probably after a few adult beverages. I saw this. I almost fell off the chair crying with laughter because of course you can destroy it. I wasn't a good wrestler. I was a
Right.
mark having fun. So I contacted Brian Zane and to be on the show, and he's going to be on the show, which is great. And he says, most guys will be pissed off at me. How come I was surprised you weren't. I said, Brian, I wasn't a professional wrestler. I was a mark having fun. It was a badge of honor that you made. I was the worst wrestler you ever saw.
Any other boys try and hold you up? Any stories from the promoter's end of being on these shows?
As a matter of fact, where did I go? Here
You're
we
still
go.
here
Yeah, I said, Sheiky held me up. So on the
for the
day I'm picking him,
second show.
second show,
Got it. Okay.
second show, he held me up. First of all, I'm already nervous because Livingston High School, where it was held, because my ex-wife Carol said you can do the wrestling stupidity one more time, but you can't do it at the house. We're not having all these guys stay at the house.
You don't
So
shit. You don't shit where you eat, Jeff. Come on. We know you
she
don't know that.
she said not happening. So, but I didn't get divorced because we held it there. But nevertheless, she said you can't do it. So
It didn't help.
Livingston High
It
Livingston
didn't
High
help.
School
It didn't.
was
Go
the
ahead. I'm sorry.
perfect place. So on Friday afternoon, the day before the show, I get a call. The show is canceled. We don't have the proper insurance. I go, you got to be freaking kidding me. Luckily, my buddy Tommy Rosenberg, who's going to be one of the recipients of the Fred Blassie Pencil Neck Geek Award at the show, he's a very top lawyer. Amazingly, when I picked him up at Newark Airport, he gets on the phone Friday afternoon, 4:30. Someone picked up at Livingston High School, and he was able to get to the right person and save the day, and the show went on. Okay, so that's number one. Number two,
Wow.
It's a wow. That's a wow. Kamala no-showed. Didn't call me, nothing, just no-showed.
Nothing.
So I'm nervous. Now the Sheik
Right.
is coming in from Atlanta. I'm waiting there at the gateway. Back when you were allowed to wait at the gateway, you can't do it anymore, right?
Right.
And plane people coming off, falling off, no Sheiky. I go, oh my God, what's going on here? Finally, the last guy off the plane with the bandana, limping horribly. By then, he could barely walk
Yeah.
in 90,
Oh,
in 97. And he's coming out. We're going up the jetway, and he goes, Jeff, I just want to let you know we have to go on early because I have a show that night in Birmingham or wherever the hell it was. I go, Sheiky, everyone is coming to see us wrestle in the main event. It'll be about 3:30. It's not going to be the opening event. Well, I have a show tonight. So I knew what was going on. I knew exactly what was going on. Sheiky, how much are they paying you tonight? They pay me $500. So I go, okay, I was paying him 500. I'll give you $1,000 to do the card. He goes, okay, Bubba, everything is okay now. So he held me up. Best 500 bucks I ever spent, Mike.
Sure. Sure. Any issues with the Sheik putting you over?
No, not at all. He was great. The only issue was I FedExed a script out to Patera, who was my manager,
Mm.
to Mike Sharp, who was Sheik's manager, and Sheik. I thought I had everything under control except for one problem. The Sheik didn't, he was a functional illiterate. He didn't read English. So it was Mike Sharp, God bless his soul, that walked the Sheik through the match because I was incapable of improvising. That match went like 20 minutes. And luckily for Mike Sharp, he had everything down and he was able to push us in the right direction. Sheik was pissed though at the end, Mike, because the finishing move, I came off the second rope with the fencing
Hmm.
mask to the
Yep.
dome.
Right.
And I potatoed him.
All right.
And
Good.
he had a bloody waffle because when you get hit, it's like mesh.
Yeah, it's
And he had
mesh. Yeah.
it was mesh, and
Yeah.
he had a bloody waffle on top of his dome. And he was less than pleased, I will say that.
Yeah. But that's your receipt for him spitting in your face for the first show.
Come to think of it, I gave the Sheik a receipt. Thanks for reminding me.
All right, so we did Maccabi Mania 1, we did Maccabi Mania 2, now we got Maccabi Mania 3 coming up. Let's hear about it.
So the reason I decided to do this, Mike, is that this was already old news. I lived the dream, didn't want to do it again. About a year and a half ago, somebody I knew dropped dead of a heart attack at the same age. And I said, I have to get into shape. I was 247. 247. I started walking and eating properly. I lost 60 pounds. I'm now 186. And when I was at the WrestleCon, Patera asked me to come to the WrestleCon in Philly, where, Mike, you're not going to believe this. I put on the gimmick. People came up to me asking to take pictures, paying me, paying for autograph pictures and paying for the old poster. I couldn't believe it. It was like 10, 12 people. I
That
would have paid them
DVD.
to, what's that?
That DVD.
I know it was crazy. First, I felt like an idiot because I'd never done this in public, and after a while, I was okay with it. So somebody, Ken says, he goes, Maccabee, I think you have one more match in you. So then I have another buddy, Andy Weinberg. You know Andy, right?
Sure, of course.
Andy's a heel manager on numerous indie scenes. He's tremendous. And I met him through the Makabe organization. He's our golf chairman. His son plays on our golf team. That's how I met Andy. And we became good. I have two Jewish heel managers on the team, Andy Weinberg and Brian Zane. That's never been done before. So he goes, Jeff, why don't you do another match? And I said, you know something? Why not? I got into shape. I'm 67, but I'm in good shape. I said, why not have fun? Why not live my life and do one more time? My arc in Makabe USA, I'm president now for my 8th and final year. I've been involved for 45 years, and this is the end of the road. So I said, why not give one last fundraiser? And at the same time, I'm having a good time myself. So I said, let's do Mania 3 at Livingston High School, almost 28 years to the day of the last one.
Wow.
And Let's take a look at the new poster. Now I know the posters you guys do now, it's different. I wanted to go back to the old school. I like old school. So there was someone on the first show, Dangerous Devin Storm, that used to know very well. Worked with him, worked against him, and good friends.
So March 2nd.
March 2nd, Livingston High School. And you know something? If you look at the top matches after the main event, um, these are guys from Tommy Fierro's Independent Superstars of Professional Wrestling, ISPW.
Mhm.
And I picked three of the best matches I've seen in his shows. And I wanted to feature them because Tommy, I called him as professional courtesy to let him know I'm running. Is that okay? And he goes, yes. Would you mind if we sort of like co-promoted? It would be prestigious for him too. I said, sure, be happy to, be honored to. So I got Rick Recon against Michael Mars. Anyone who's still living from our first two shows, not many, I invited. And Michael Mars, Mr. Motion. GKM against Ray Calitri, an awesome match those guys
Yeah.
did. And then now against Senta Slaughter, these guys have a great tag team match.
Yep.
And then I brought in some gimmicky stuff. I brought in Luigi Primo, the pizza chef. I figured I'd bring in Snitsky because he's in great shape against Vargas in the Battle of the Giants. And I brought in Colt Cabana because, first of all, he's Jewish. He's a Jewish wrestler, and I know him. And I figured I'd put him on there. And of course, it was very important for me to put Mike Kalua, King Kalua. And I called him up and I said, Mike, would you do Doink the Clown again? He goes, Jeff, I don't think I have the gimmick anymore. I never liked the gimmick. Can I just do my own gimmick? And I said, absolutely. So I found another Doink the Clown. So the only person who's not here is Baron von Raschke. He's about 80, 81. I called him and he goes, I'm just not up to it. I don't want to leave my wife. So he might send in a promo. It
Good.
was very important for me that I brought in the living wrestlers because almost everyone's gone, Mike.
Awesome. March 2nd, Livingston High School. Jeff, do you want to give out any kind of personal information? If anyone wants to email you, contact you, Facebook you,
Well, I
or
think most importantly, Mike, is that we're selling VIP tickets.
Mhm.
www.maccabi.usa/MM3, which you know what that stands for, Maccabiah Mania 3. There's the QR code. My email is jbuchans@gmail if anyone wants to contact me. The VIP ticket is really going to be great because you'll get an autographed poster like we did last time. We had all the guys at tables and a VIP meet and
Right.
greet, everyone signing the poster. And this poster is 13 by 19. I'm doing 17 by 26 cardboard, old school,
Oh,
just like the
nice.
ones behind me, because I like the old school. Um, it's going to be great. People are also going to get two autographed pictures of, you like this one,
I need that.
Mighty
I need
Maccabee.
I need that for my man cave.
What do you think about the guns there, Mike?
They're loaded.
They're not bad for 40 at the time. I mean, and also we're going to put together one hell of a t-shirt. The t-shirt from Maccabiah Mania 2 was selling on eBay for $150. It became sort of like a
Wow.
cult thing. This
Sure.
t-shirt is going to be really, really, it's going to be really cool and very nice. And, Mike, I had a question for you. This is not a gotcha question, just asking.
Mhm.
Who do you think is the longest reigning WWF champion or any champion that you can think of?
Bruno Sammartino.
That's what everyone says, but it's not him. Someone from his era.
It's Bruno Sammartino.
Nope. It's the fabulous Moolah.
Oh! I was thinking only men. Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
September 18th, day after my birthday, 1956, until whenever it was in
Yeah.
1984 at WrestleMania when she lost to Wendy Richter, whatever it was. Just wanted to let you know this belt, the World Maccabiah Heavyweight Championship, on March 2nd, Matty Maccabee will have had this for 10,228 days, blowing away Moolah's record. And even if I lose to Crowbar and it's no longer there, I will still have beaten Moolah's record.
So you got that going for you.
I got that going. Guess who made this belt?
Who?
Adrian Street, adorable Adrian
Oh,
Street.
wow. He made a lot of my
Yep.
tights back in the day.
He did. Yeah. Someone turned me on to him and he made my new singlet, which was pretty cool in this. And someone asked me, do you think you ever want to sell it? And I said, I don't think there's really a big market for it out there, but there are people that buy all sorts of crazy belts and pay big
Sure.
money for it. But it's just a keepsake that for a few $100, it wouldn't be worth selling anyway.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So, Yeah,
So
so anyway, that's pretty much it. I hope to be able to perform as best as possible. I know that when I work with the Sheik, the Sheik was already at a stage of the game where he really couldn't work very well. And you combine that with me, who didn't know how to work at all, was a little bit on the difficult side. But this time I'm sort of lucky because Crowbar is, a great worker. He's still young and in great shape. But I'll tell you one thing. I saw a match at one of Tommy's shows with Crowbar against Danny Moff. These guys beat the living crap out of each other. And I said, Chris, I said, this match is not going to be
I
hardcore
hope he
like
beats
that.
the crap. I hope he beats the crap out of you, Jeff. If I'm being honest with you, you take a few shots. Let you know what it's like to get a few hard shots in there. It's gonna be great. And again, March 2nd, Livingston High School. What time?
The meet and greet's at 12 to 1. The bell time is 1. So it should be a great afternoon. Livingston High School can actually pack in. They have a new gym, 1,100 people. I don't see 1,100 people there. The last two shows I had about 350, 375. But let's see if we can beat that and fill up that gym a little bit. It should be really a lot of fun. And although the tickets are $100 for the meet and greet and the T-shirt and the poster, probably with 2 weeks to go or so, we'll probably put $35 general admission tickets for sale. Not at the beginning, because the objective is to raise money. That's why I'm trying to sell the more expensive tickets. So for those people out there that are used to going to Tommy's shows and paying that amount, you'll be able to go to one of Tommy's shows and see his guys and pay the usual amount as well. You just won't get the T-shirt and the poster.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend.
Nice to see you, Mike. Can't wait to see you on March 2nd.
I'll see you March 2nd.
Thanks a lot, buddy.